Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM23 Lions episode 117. We're now on to the Criterium de Dauphine. We will also have, overlapping a little bit, the Tour de Suisse before we get to the Tour de France. The national championships are also going to show up here at the end of June, but we really don't have anything. I think I have one nation that we actually get national championships for. Is that it? Do we even get that one? Now I can't remember. Either way, I think we're looking at probably a 2-episode structure before we begin the Tour de France. But that's a lot of stages for just 2 episodes when we historically get about 3 races, 3 stages in one episode most of the time, sometimes 4, sometimes less, depending on the coverage. That being said, if I've got 2 big races to cover, and realistically for the Dauphine, there's 5 stages that I would like to race. That's just not going to happen if we're going to get through both of these races in just 2 episodes. So we are going to have to quick sim some of it, but we'll definitely play out some of the stages. The first sacrificial land that I would normally play out is this stage. Looking at the profile, there's no reason for there to be time gaps. But we know that the quick sim, it's going to provide a time gap. Let's see how bad it is. Arab, just 16 seconds down. Benuna is 30. Okay, I can handle that. So we go right into stage number 4 and an individual time trial that is 30 kilometers in length. Benuna was expected to have a +3. He's on a fitness peak, but he's actually drawn a -3 today. So really unlucky there because he's a good time trialist. Not a good prologuer, but at 30K, it's a 100% time trial rating. There is some uphill, there's some downhill, but none of this is severe. The little bit of climbs you get, we're talking like 4% gradients as Arab is preparing to set off. And he's the one who's on 0 expected, but has got a positive race day condition that's going to make him as strong as Benuna, which is definitely a good thing. Definitely a good thing. He's got that's only a +1. So, but between the two of them, it's a -2 rating, which is not great. Through practice with the other riders, the steadiest tempo that you could set, really for 30K, it should be something along the lines of a 74 to 76 because of that downhill section, allowing you to conserve quite a bit of energy and ultimately shortening the race distance by some margin, because here's a second downhill section, though much shorter. That combination with that little bit of an uphill at the end, we can get away with an 80 tempo, and that is the most steady up-tempo pace you could set throughout. You can see that Benuna, through the second time check, is 5th place, just 5 seconds down. And Roteasier is still in the top 10, despite having a negative race day condition and still being at that phase where we were still kind of locking in the effort level. Arab at the first time check is just 13 seconds down. At the second, he's still 13 seconds down, up a couple spots to 11th place. And we're going to want to slow it down here just before the end to make sure we're getting this right. And with like Benuna, 2.3K, we can definitely start pushing an 86. For Arab at 7K, he's got enough to start pushing an 82. Benuna into that final kilometer. 600 meters. 300 meters. K99 the rest of the way. Attacking 17th, a minute 13 down. That's solid for a 0. 4.7K. Arab can definitely take it up another notch. 84 now. Pushing for 2.5K. He's got a little bit left in the tank, just over 1K, inside 1K. Oh, we ran out. 300 meters. 300 meters too soon on that one. Lost about 5 to 10 seconds there right at the end. Minute 28 down. That's worse than I expected, but it's 15 seconds behind Benuna. So realistically, he's just right there, just outside of the top 20. And most of that top 20 are not contenders. Ethan Hayter certainly is. Asgreen? Yeah, you would consider him, sure. Luke Plapp probably would be considered a contender. Most of those are time trialists, and that's their specialty. so they're not going to be a big threat. Vingegaard certainly is, but as we get into these last few riders, Arab and Benuna both have put in a very strong showing. You can see here, like Covey, who is a fairly strong climber, well down on time, especially when you add in the bonus. He's like a 79 to an 80 mountain. That puts him on a level pegging with Sammy Arab, but Arab's minutes ahead of him. 6 minutes down for the current race leader. That really changes things right there. So we don't get in the top 10, but we got 3 guys in and around the top 25. Time trialist specialists, and one of our 3 was that as well, Rotasier. But yeah, there's Vingegaard, Salmon, Bosch, Kurtz, Plapp, Hayter. Benuna is 7th, Arab is 9th. Tullet and Bernal, also key contenders, are up there. But that's a 2-minute spread just across the top 10. Stage 5 has gone rather poorly, with our guys not being anywhere near the top. But Bernal, Vingegaard, the only top contenders who got high positions. But Benuna loses 35 seconds. Arab loses a minute and 3, dropping us down the order a little bit. But both riders still inside the top 10, and top 2 pulling away a little bit. Stage 6, medium mountain. It's one big climb that we're kind of already on the base of the official climb, though, because it does flatten out for a while. Not for a while yet, but we're definitely on the lower slopes of the climb. Horribly unlucky, though. Sammy Arab, somebody kidnapped him overnight and flew him to some faraway place while keeping him locked up in a cage. And he woke up with a -5 race day condition, lost and confused. Benuna, a +2 for him at least, with a clear +10 difference between them. We're going to have to really focus on Benuna for this stage and for the stages to come, assuming that Benuna has the expected +3 and Arab doesn't. It's highly likely that Arab's going to be stronger, but only slightly in one of the days to follow, and therefore Benuna is making himself leader for this race. They're one position apart from each other, and in the standings, just mere seconds. So I think it's pretty clear. But if we can, we'll have both guys get through this in one piece. But we are getting into those later stages. The domestiques now gelling up. There's a lot of domestiques here. There's really only 2 climbers. And the third protected guy, Benny Messias, 73 mountain and a 67 stamina, -3. Okay, we have sat on for a bit here. We're going to have to start upping that effort. Bosco, go ahead and gel. You're going to have to climb a lot harder to stay put and be able to provide help to our 2 leaders. Okay, Roteus here begins the drop. He was protecting Benuna. We want to have Benuna protected, so Bosco stepping up to pick him up. We're also losing Maccabee, which means we are losing our protection for Sammy Arab. So De Villiers, we can pick up Arab for a moment, and Benny Messias. Go ahead and follow him. Bosco still going strong to protect Benuna for now. Still have Benuna. We still have Arab hanging in there. 1.5k from the top here. Has there been any... Yes, 4 riders attacked. So there's 4 riders half a minute up the road. We'll have to hope that they are caught. It's definitely not a big lead, and it's a fairly small peloton. 48 riders. What the heck happened? 81 effort was not enough. Arab got dropped with his negatives. He and Benny and Messias just went out the back. At the front, Mataway, Arveus, they were the breakaway. They've nearly been caught. And that's the front group split up. So we did catch those 4 guys. Arab did not follow Benny and Messias, so fantastic job there. Contact was lost. Oh, that's why I don't use those buttons. They're just freaking garbage. Catch this rider is already an indication that you have to go. He gave no go attempt. He moved one bike length and was like, yeah, no, I'm not having any of this. And we've got to focus here on Benuna and holding his position. Still chasing now just a front three as those two riders were brought back. One of them dropped, and that is kind of the last climb. Gel. Mataway takes the win ahead of Narvaez. Breakaway survives today. No one has the energy to attack. We are going to catch the third rider before the line. We are not going to get the time bonus. Is that Bernal? No, it's only. Oscar only. Petrovic, Healy, Gregoire, Pidcock. So we caught those guys. Bernal, Tullet. Benuna gets 10th on the stage. And we've got time gaps here to quite a few riders. For that part, it's good. Meanwhile, back here, Benny Messias, final kilometer. And he's done. Arab now. Sprinting, and then we will yellow bar the rest of the way. We're going to make contact with this group at least. That's going to help us on the time a little bit, but that's 33rd on the stage. That's a terrible performance from Arab, and definitely my bad. I had him set in 81 holding position, and I'm not even sure where I was looking. Was I watching Brighton and Rome in the Europa League, or was I actually watching my screen? I think I was watching my screen, but I didn't see him slip out the back. So Arab was 5:17 down, huge losses, big gaps, but that really starts to open the field because in reality, there's only a handful of guys who had reasonable times. I mean, 19 at best at the 3 minutes down, especially when we're only talking about just over a minute separation from 3rd to 19th, with those top two gaining a little bit more. And those top two, yes, moving up, but they weren't in dangerous positions. Benuna is all the way up to 4th place, just 12 seconds off the race lead right now, which is Bernal. Asgreen, Arab, right behind Asgreen. Arab drops to 18th in the standings at 4:12 down, but that was something we anticipated. I just didn't anticipate him losing contact just before the top of the climb, and subsequently losing 4 minutes over his teammate, or 3.5 minutes over his teammate. Stage 7 is incredibly challenging and incredibly difficult, and made all the harder by the simple fact that the breakaway has not been established yet. We're down to 95k to go in the stage. We've been racing for about 60 to 70 kilometers already, and there's riders trying to break away right now, and the chase was very hard moments ago. So we are hitting the base of an Arscat climb with no rest since the start of the stage, and that is going to make this much more difficult. One thing that will help us, though, is the rarefied air that is a positive race day condition balance net across the team. It's not something we've had much this season. In fact, there was a stretch there where, to my memory, to my knowledge, we hadn't had it once in the season. We'd had neutral, and we had many negative days, many of them, and hadn't had a single positive. And then we finally had like 3 out of 5 stages were net positive. I think we've had one more since then that was positive, plus today making about 5 for the entire season, which is a really bad ratio. But recently, we're talking about 5 out of like 15, which is what you would expect, right? You'd expect neutral to be more often than not. You'd expect negative and positive to neutralize each other and be somewhere between about a quarter and a third of the time. That being said, breakaway is finally established. 3 riders are clear. They are not quite in line with one another, but even then, the climb has not been easy, and we are seeing guys go backwards, and Maccabee dropping out. Speaking of dropping out, before we do something here with this, tempo has picked up. peloton is suddenly down to 67 riders. We've got still 9.5K to go in the climb, but the group is much smaller, a lot more compact, and there's too easy of a time to fall out the back here. So we need to really put our foot down, and we need to protect Benuna. Roteus here is the spare man for that, so he's going to take that job on. He's only a 61 mountain, but he's got a +5 today. And we've got multiples of those. I mean, we have a good draw. You know, our expected is a +10, but this is definitely more than a +10. Even though there's a -3 in there, we're what, +5 overall net. It's not a fantastic rating. I mean, we've seen -20 something, maybe 5 stages back during the Giro, didn't we? We had one day where we had a -20 something. It's like a -21, -22. Benny Messias is struggling to hold his position. Bosco's about to drop out. He's protecting Arab. At least Arab has a +1. Benuna has a +3. The only problem here is the 3 climbers combined, the expected versus the actual, they don't have the positive. The positive is in the domestiques. So that hurts. They're a +1, the 3 of them. Which is still okay. But the other +4 comes from, you know, the additional 4 guys. Beggars can't be choosers. Get what you can get and be happy with it. The front 4. It was 3. Now it's front 4. Pidcock has attacked. So Pidcock has attacked. And I'm sure that's why there's a chase now, because they were out to almost 5 minutes. It's down to 40 seconds. And the peloton's down to 43 riders. And we're talking about huge gaps and a lot of distance still to cover in this stage. This is going to be a crazy and hectic final. I would imagine we're going to be looking at very big time gaps today. Roteus is already out the back, and with 2.5K to go, Benny Messias is on the verge of getting dropped himself. Arab and Benuna will make it over this climb. Like, they're going to be in that group for the final 2 climbs, but if they're all I have, that's a worrying sign that it's going to be a difficult final climb, and we are destined to lose some pretty serious time. And yes, Benny Messias is getting dropped before the top. He's amongst quite a few guys out the back. Bonamore, Bento. Hold on, while we're here, let's go ahead and go auto. Andrade. Most of them are your kind of mid-tier. Those are domestiques. It's surprising that those guys have stuck around and hung in there that long. But we're down to 31. We're chasing 1. I would venture that we know who that 1 is, and yes, it's Pidcock. 25 chasing 1, and that's all that is left in this race. 70K to go, big downhill section, and Benuna is the leader. So Arab, get water for the pair of you. Now while we're descending and recovering. 77 downhill, so he can actually handle this task without getting dropped. Halfway down the descent now, both of them will be fully recovered. It's just the size of the group. And then we're going to be on this valley floor, which is a little bit of a false flat. So a little bit uphill. And a big double climb, and not going to get rest over, you know, that halfway point. I'm worried about this. I'm not worried about Pidcock winning. A minute and a half and that big flat section and that big climb to go solo. Pidcock screwed. Him alone at this point is trouble. But we are, for now, I'm not going to have them ride for each other. I'm not going to have Arab ride for Benuna yet. We don't want to waste him on the flat. Unless they really speed up. We're up to 30 riders. 5 riders have regained contact. They've probably had to ride hard to do that, which means they might not have recovered fully. Okay, we are nearly to the base, and now things are just starting to pick up. So Arab, go ahead and protect Benuna. Benuna, give me those climbing legs. And we have, we'll start at an 84, I guess. Arab's the stronger climber, right? 80, 82, 76 stamina, where Benuna's 76 stamina base, but it's at 82 today. He's only a 77 mountain, 78 medium mountain. He's 3 points worse off, 2 points worse off than Arab. Arab's the better rider, but because of the position, 4th overall versus 4 minutes down at 18th overall, we're gonna ride for Benuna, which is gonna make this that much tougher. But a good strong rider to protect him, it's gonna help. It is gonna help. We're climbing, 17k to go. That's just to that halfway point. Pidcock's gap holding steady, which means he's burning through that energy because we've got 2-3 guys making the chase happen, burning through their energy. Now it's starting to come down. Energy fine so far. We've done about 4k of the climb, and we actually even just caught wind of Pidcock for the first time as we're chasing him down. Now just over a minute. We've already dropped one rider from the group. Was that a domestique doing their work? Probably was. And just 30 seconds behind Pidcock, and he's burning through the last of his energy trying to stay away. So for us, that's a wonderful thing that he has not just dropped back and rejoined the group and tried to rest. He's tried to stay away. Continues to try to stay away. So he'll be down to next to nothing and out of contention. But with only a single rider drop so far, it's not like we've done anything amazing. You can see Benuna a little bit better stamina-wise than Arab. Pidcock's been caught, and then he just slots into place and rides on like he's got tons of energy left. Arab's barely got any energy left. Like, what is Pidcock's ratings here? 82, 82, 86 when you add the 4s, plus whatever race day condition. But again, if we were swapped, Benuna would be where Arab is, if not lower, running out of energy just about now, and Arab would still have a decent amount of energy left if these two were swapped. But we're riding for Benuna, 3.5k. Will we get through both of them to the top? Looks like we might. And we go over the top with both guys. Recovery. Heart rate wasn't that high, so there is some recovery happening here. Benuna a little quicker than Arab, and that's good. That is good for him. We'll see where we're at right at the bottom. Okay. This is about to turn into uphill, like right about now. Benuna decently recovered. I mean, that's a good 2/3 of the way recovered. Arab, only a quarter. He's not going to last terribly long. It's 13.9k. We are going to have to gel up with Arab relatively soon. I'm assuming that we're going to be seeing a higher tempo before long, and that's going to hurt Arab. Yeah, we're up to a 170 on the heart rate, so gel now. $9k to go. Arab, not the first out the back, but he's going to be one of the first. Down to 8k. Benuna's going to gel now. Arab has been dropped alongside Oka, Japanese rider Richter. But back into the steep sector once again. 13.4k overall for the climb, 6% average, but we're up to 10% now. Down to 20 riders. 5.5k. Benuna. We're going to sit down to an 80. We are now riding for a top 10 and definitely not for the stage, as we are running out of energy here, and there's still 4.9k. So as this attack comes and 3 guys go clear, if we can ride for 4th place, I'm pretty dang happy with that, even though we are 4th overall and this is going to hurt us. But I don't think that's your top 3. Idaway is 232. Vingegaard is, and Petrovic, but neither one of them are in the top 3, so we are still surrounded. Actually, we're not surrounded. Tollett losing contact. Finally. We see an attack by Salmon. Salmon 5th overall, so he's pulling away, but he didn't get very far with that attack. 2.3K. Up at the head, Mataway. 2 minutes ahead of us. Vingegaard is not leading. It's Petrovic. Petrovic, final 500 meters. Keeping an eye on Arab and Benuna. It's still just low energy for them. Petrovic is going to claim victory today, and at just 55 seconds down, he's definitely moving up. However, it's a very slender advantage over Vingegaard, but 13 seconds, he is going to move into the race lead. And then second, Mataway, is he going to move into third? Probably not. Here is Benuna coming for the line now, and that part's phenomenal. But he's a weak link at the moment, and he's struggling to keep up with these guys. They're not going to give him the same time either. You see he's falling off as they had just a little something left. He's going to lose some time to them. 250 to these guys, and he's going to come in at 3:15 in ninth place. Arab, 1K to go. He's got just a little bit in the tank. I think we can make a push here in the final 500 meters. And sprint for his time. 6.5 minutes down. Big gaps. Bernal was 19th on the stage, though. Benuna will definitely be ahead of him. I don't know if he'll still be in the top 5. Some of these riders are well outside of time. Some of these riders are many minutes down. Huge gaps today. This is going to be wild on where we're at after stage 7. So Benuna clocked in at 3:13, losing that little bit of time to these guys. And, of course, that top 3 that opened up a very sizable gap, nearing 3 minutes ahead. Further down, though, gaps are still significant. I mean, it's 6:38 to Arab, more than twice of what Benuna was down. So in the GC, Benuna stays 4th. Nice. Okay, so Petrovic and Vingegaard, of course, have taken the helm and pulled away in just 6 seconds between them. But Mataway up to 3rd. Benuna is just 4 seconds behind him. And there's really only 2, 3, 4 riders that are in any sort of touching distance heading into the final stage. Arab stays 18th at 10:05 down. He definitely would have moved up if we'd swapped that, but Benuna would have moved down a lot. Benuna would have lost a lot of time. I think Benuna probably would have lost 4 or 5 minutes if we had swapped them compared to what he did lose. Actually, I think it would have been more than that because Arab lost a few minutes and he was stronger. So I would think he would have lost probably 6 additional minutes, which would put him somewhere around 8:40. So around 14th, 15th. Arab would have saved at least the 3 minutes. He was almost 4 down. He would have saved the 4, I guess, to Benuna, and then been a little stronger, right? But I don't think he would have made it with those top 3 guys. So in reality, he probably would have been in about the same spot. Probably would have been in the same spot. That secondary group behind the top 3 guys. He's just not strong enough to hang with them either. Benuna got away with not having energy for quite a while. He just lost 20 seconds at the very end. So Arab would have been the 4 minutes plus the 20 seconds, maybe at best. So him 4 minutes better off would have been 13th. So we'd be 13th and like 16th right now. We absolutely made the right call to protect Benuna, and we protected his position. Didn't improve it. Didn't lose anything on it either. He's, of course, out of reach now for the win, but he's not out of reach for the podium. Mataway is only a 75 mountain, but clearly had +5 going on today. That is going to do it for this episode, though. There's 1 stage left for the Dauphine, and then we'll have to kind of pick and choose our battles, I guess, for the Tour de Suisse if we're going to try to get that combination in within just one more episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.